guys, it's me. Welcome back. Hello. All right, let's get into today's video because this is actually a really fun one. So this is kind of like a reacting, but also a Dance Moms behind the scene, maybe never before talked about, heard story time. Back in the day, when we were doing Dance Moms, there were a couple of seasons when we were a big deal on the network. And so the network was like, you know what? We're gonna do full-on produced commercials to advertise the newest upcoming season. The first year, they decided to do a commercial that was iconic to dance and the city of Pittsburgh. When they sent us the creatives for it, I was like, that's actually genius. So if you remember this commercial, I am talking about the Flashdance commercial. Flashdance was a movie set in Pittsburgh in the early 80s, and it was about a steel worker, and she actually wanted to be a ballerina at the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. There's an iconic scene at the end where she's auditioning, and she's not doing typical ballet. She's doing more of like, oh God, I don't even know what the style is, jazz, but then breakdancing. I mean, it's a lot. But it was a very, very, very famous movie, and it was famously set in Pittsburgh. So here we are in the 2000s, and we have a show about dance set in Pittsburgh. So whoever came up with the concept for the Flashdance commercial for Dance Moms was actually kind of genius. But on the other hand, they had to realize that only a small subset of the people watching the show would actually get the reference from back in the day. It's fine. It's fine. Here's the thing. When we filmed the show, we were literally like just being ourselves. But when you do something like a scripted commercial, we had to like shoot specific shots to tell the story. So it was a different type of experience for us. They filmed this commercial, I think it was an old library in Homestead, and it was totally different than shooting Dance Moms, because Dance Moms we had a couple of guys like with lighting here and there, we had cameraman and we had sound guys. This was like a full-on movie production, and there were massive pieces of equipment outside with lights on them because they had to shine lights through the window of the room the girls were dancing in to make it look like the sunlight was streaming in just like in the movie. Okay, so it opens with a beautiful shot of the city, because I think that's actually how Flashdance opened, like we saw Pittsburgh. So we start, there's the bridges, oh, we're taping our feet, very famous moment from the movie. Oh, I love their little leg warmers. Oh, okay, see Mackenzie on her back doing like the breakdance move? That is the famous move from Flashdance. And then they have Abby being the welder, because Jennifer Beal was the actress in the movie who played it, and she was a welder. So here we have Abby welding. I mean, it's really genius, and Abby looks pretty. Okay, so it's really hard to tell which girl is which because they all have those really unfortunate permed wigs on. Oh, wait, I did not realize that the rod she is soldering is reminiscent of the baseball bat that she has in the studio. I didn't get that until right now. There's all their little feet. Is that Paige? To see in this shot how it has the shadows on the floor, that was from the lights outside. That is not really the sunlight. Oh, and Abby does have the pipe. That's like Mr. Green in the library with the lead pipe. That's what that's giving. Oh, and then there we are. Fun fact, we actually shot this in a totally different hallway, and we didn't shoot our scenes until very, very late at night. The kids and Abby shot their scenes much earlier, and we had to wait all freaking day and shoot our scene later. I'm pretty sure that's my hand on the doorknob. Oh, you know, Abby loves her some hairography, doesn't she? The girls are into it. I remember the girls just thinking these wigs were ugly. We were like, no, it's a moment. There's Nia. Oh. Okay, so we're banging on the door, banging on the door. Oh, okay. So right before we crashed through the door, we had to do that shot so many times, like as hard as we could, banging into the door, all in a big clump. I can tell you I had on these awful, like big platform high heels. And I definitely stepped on Melissa's foot and like crushed it. And I did not mean to at all. But I remember her being like, "Wah!" But I don't know why they had us have our high heels on when we were going through the door, because you can't see our feet here. So we could have done all of that barefoot and put our shoes on for the next part. And P.S., when we went through the door, it was just a big old empty room. The girls weren't in there. This was all filmed totally separate. And there is the light on the floor. Okay, so very famous scene from Flashdance, because she was an exotic dancer in the movie, and there's this very famous scene. I don't even think it was her who pulled the water. I think it was another girl, but a very famous scene from Flashdance. Okay, this was awful when they dropped the water on us. We had one take of it because Holly said, like, if my hair gets wet, it's gonna get curly, it's not gonna look the same. Plus, we would have all been wet in our clothes. We would have had to go back through glam and like redo the whole thing. So they had one take to get this. They prepped us standing here so many times. Like, we had to fall in, we had to stand there, we had to wait, we had to reset, we had to do it. Like, we probably stood in this place, I don't know, 15 times waiting for this water. The anticipation of the water was a lot. We were like, oh, oh, you know, like we kept waiting. And I said, because it was very cold when we shot this, I remember saying to them, I'm like, is the water freezing? Because I don't get my hair wet. I get my hair wet once a year, and that's in August. And they're like, no. They were like, we warmed it up for you. Remember that. And do you see our faces? That water was ice freaking cold. It was the coldest water known to man. It was not warm because they wanted us to react that way. It was awful. And then she winks, and I actually think the maniac is back is hysterical. Whoever came up with this, I'm telling you, was really, really, really smart. Like, that is such a good commercial. But whoever made us have the freezing cold water, I hate you, and I'm still mad about it. But this commercial was great. It took us literally all day to film it, and the moms, we were last. Like, we were totally last, and the shot of us with the water was dead last. As soon as that was done, we had to rush out and get changed. But that was so cold, it was so miserable, but I do think that the commercial turned out great. Do you guys remember when this commercial came out? I need to know if you remember. I need you to leave in the comments like what you thought about it. Did you understand the Flashdance reference? And then I would love to hear from you what you would like to see me do next as far as my YouTube goes. Like, what are you dying to see me do? And I welcome any and all suggestions. If you're not listening to Back to the Bar, make sure that you check out Back to the Bar. That is a podcast with Kelly and I, where every week we go back to the bar and we recap old episodes of Dance Moms, and we give you all of the behind the scenes tea, just like I did with watching this commercial. All right, I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I will see you back here next week.